Welcome to the best Raze lineup guide for Ascent you will ever see. Here we are at the TGG and we're ready to make you into the best Raze player you can be, so get ready to learn some killer lineups. Before we get into it, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and our question for you is, how strong do you think Raze is in the current meta? Ascent is a very popular map amongst professional players within Valorant, so we've compiled some of their favourite Raze lineups. Starting with attacking A site, our first lineup will be a Boombot one. Stand against this wall on the third panel in A lobby. Defenders often rush into A wine to lurk and kill your pushing allies, but with this Boombot you can easily and safely clear A wine. Aim at the smaller shadow on the wall in A main and line your Boombot indicator up with the right hand wall. Moving over to B site, we will stick with the Boombot lineups. This Boombot will clear B main and B boat from B lobby. This is a riskier Boombot as it might get destroyed, but if you can get your team to smoke off the entryway from B main, the Boombot can surprise enemy agents in B boat. Stand against the entryway from B lobby on the right hand side to start off. Aim at the bottom left corner of the small window of the opposite wall. Make sure to use this to clear B main and B boat every round you push B. All you need to do is get your allies to wait a second before they push and get mowed down by an aggressive enemy. Mid is quite an important area of Ascent, and more often than not you will encounter multiple enemies lurking nearby. We have a Boombot lineup that will clear not only mid courtyard, but bottom mid and mid market too. Place a couple of smokes and the Boombot will surprise lurking enemies. Stand against the door in B link and stand on the small stone just by the curb. Fire the Boombot at the opposite wall of the entryway to mid courtyard from B link. The Boombot doesn't however clear the close angles both in mid courtyard and bottom mid, so be careful. Moving over to paint shell lineups, these are most effective when used around mid. This is because some of the mid areas of the map are very enclosed, such as mid market and bottom mid. Our first lineup is for mid market from B main. This is a very good place to throw your paint shells as they will force the enemies lurking there to move. Stand on the left wall of the B main entrance just by the plug socket on the wall. Aim at the right hand window at the third from left opening in it. Place your crosshair just below the beam in the background in the middle of the opening. If you have thrown correctly, your paint shells will land directly in the entrance of mid market. Mid pizza is a very common angle for enemy agents to play in, as it gives a good view over enemies pushing through B link. The problem with mid pizza, like any sort of cubby, is that enemies are trapped once they enter. This means that throwing your paint shells in there forces them out. Then you can swing and mow them down. Stand in the right hand corner of the mid courtyard and B link entryway. Line up the opposite wall with the edge of the generator behind it. Place your crosshair at the top of the building in the distance, then run and throw. You Raze mains definitely need lineups for more maps from just Ascent, so we have full detailed lineup guides for every other map in the game. These include Bind, Haven, Icebox, Fracture, Breeze and Split. Moving over to the defensive side, we're back on the Boombot lineups. Stand in A gardens for this one. The Boombot will clear the whole of A main. Most Raze players throw their Boombot straight into A main from the entrance on A site, but these normally get destroyed instantly. This lineup has the Boombot bounce at an angle where it will head straight for the enemy agents. Stand in the corner by the entrance to A link from A gardens and look at the A main entryway. Aim at the right side of the far wall at the very first horizontal pattern from the ground. This one might take a bit of practice as there is very little room for error, but unlike all those other Raze noobs, you will not have to reposition after using this Boombot. The Boombot will also check the ultimate orb for you, but be careful of enemy agents lurking in A wine. Although most Raze players like to play aggressive and at the front, with this paint shell lineup you don't necessarily have to. This lineup will explode just over the entryway from A lobby to A main, which is a choke point. This means it should damage multiple enemies in a small area if they're pushing. Stand just behind the two boxes on A site in the corner where they connect. Take a step back and find two small islands in the sky. Aim in between the two. Move your crosshair just above, run forward and throw. A good tip is to make sure your crosshair is in between the two when you throw. That's all from us here at TheGlobalGaming, and if you want more lineups for Ascent, we have lineup guides for Viper, KO, Killjoy, Sova, Brimstone, Phoenix and Fade. Good luck in your rated games, and we will catch you guys next time.